Thank you very much, Patty. And I'm just a pilot, so he's going to come up and fix the...
The lawyers do know something technical.
Thank you. By the way, Mike, thanks for helping with that. When I got up here on the platform, I asked Mike, do you think we could get some water for the speakers since all the other tables had it, and we didn't. And in true Bigelow Aerospace fashion, he provided water with two dissimilar systems in order to have a backup, both the bottles and the pitchers. So, Mike, thank you very much. They're learning what they need to do to operate in space. I'm in an interesting position here, not only following a lawyer, but also it's always interesting to follow SpaceX, which has a lot of exciting things to go on and going on, and ULA, which has a tremendous challenge ahead of them in all that they are trying to do for the nation and for their unique company. I'm also in an interesting position in that I've only been with Orbital, well, I was saying 6 months for a long time until somebody pointed out it's now 9 months, so I guess I can't plead ignorance on a lot of things at the company anymore. But I've only been with them a short time. The company, however, has been in existence longer than the other companies that are up here on the stage, at least in their current configurations. And so it is an interesting position for me to be in as a new guy describing what our company has done for the last 27 years. I've also probably been in the aerospace business in one form or another longer than most of you in the room, so I should know more than I do, and I look forward to your questions to find out if I do or not. But I've seen a lot of this come and go, and I've seen a lot of things happen. The thing that has always stuck with me, though, is that I love this business, and I love what we're doing, both in aviation and space in this country, but I want to see us do more. I also love my new job. I am really excited working at Orbital. I'm having a great time working with the human spaceflight programs, working with some people that are very smart, very committed to what they do, and who work very, very hard to both keep the company viable and do good things for the country and for the business. The company was started 27 years ago by three guys in Dave Thompson's bedroom out in California. And I mean, it's a true entrepreneurial company that started just as small as any of these others with a dream of executing commercial spaceflight. And they eventually did that. It was not without its fits and starts and without its challenges and failures, but they began flying a commercial launcher, the Pegasus, a few years after the company was started, and it's getting ready to fly its 40th mission, most of which have been successful. And I think that's a great legacy to build on as we move further into supporting human spaceflight and the exciting things we have coming in the next 10 years that are possible. It's hard to say exactly what it's going to turn out. We'll know more maybe in August or September. I was tasked with giving you a status of the COTS program within Orbital, and that's what my charts are set up to do. Most of you probably saw my presentation yesterday, so today's is much shorter, and will be somewhat of a review of that. But as we talk about that, I'm going to link that report to some of the things that I think we need to be thinking about as we try to increase the participation of industry on a commercial basis in flying both cargo and people to space and in supporting human spaceflight. The COTS system itself, most of you are probably familiar with. It's actually composed of 5 major elements. Carl Walsh and I argue about whether it's 4 or 5 because Carl has the 2 in the lower left. The Cygnus visiting vehicle, the Taurus II launch vehicle, cargo operations, mission operations are linked, but still separate. And then, of course, the integrated launch site operations at Wallops Flight Facility. All of which are progressing well, but all of which still have challenges because this is a new program for the company. And to be honest, we started about a year and a half late with the award of the second round of COTS Space Act agreements. And so we're working hard to catch up and to get into space. The legacy we're building on, as I mentioned, is a long one. Pegasus was probably the first true commercial spacecraft launched by an American company to pursue commercial endeavors, and on a commercial basis and was developed at great risk by the company at the time. The others that have succeeded it have built on that legacy. Sometimes we move to new engines, new suppliers, and one of the things the company has done well is pursue the best in the business to integrate together into launch systems and spacecraft systems that allow the mission to be accomplished. And they've done a good job of that. The things that really work well, they carry on from one program to the next. The avionics that move from one to the next to support keep being improved, but continue to be a legacy system. And other systems are similar, including some of the boosters themselves, or the motors themselves. The Taurus II itself is the first liquid that the company has developed, but it still builds on that same legacy of looking for the best, most cost-effective, and safest approach to flying into space, flying into orbit. It has both solid and liquid stages, substantial payload performance into a variety of low Earth orbits, as well as potentially GTO and interplanetary eventually. The 3.9 meter fairing accommodates most large payloads, and eventually will be capable of launching single and multiple. Right now we're developing Wallops as the primary launch site. However, it is compatible with both Vandenberg and Cape Canaveral, and potentially Kodiak as a polar orbiting launch site. The Stage 1 engines are at Aerojet. Aerojet purchased these engines from NDK many years ago. They've been in storage, and of course one of the questions is, are they going to work? And of course that's our question. We ask Aerojet almost on a weekly basis, are they going to work? And Aerojet is doing the integration and additional testing of these engines to ensure that they do work. We know that their performance is substantial. They were designed to carry spacecraft to the moon, and they've been tested extensively in Russia, and we're looking forward to the initial flights and the additional testing at Stennis Space Center of those engines. The Castor 32nd stage from ATK is a heritage or legacy engine from the Castor 120, which of course is a workhorse right now in the fleet, and many of you are familiar with. It will have its first test firing this summer, and then we will begin the integration activities to use it as our second stage for the Taurus II vehicle. Payload fairing mole is as you see there, and the payload fairing itself, as I said, is a 3.9 meter to accommodate both the CRS mission as well as other future payloads. The Cygnus visiting vehicle is going through design review process now, as any vehicle does. We finished the PDR with CDR coming up this fall. It's composed of a service module that you see here, which actually is the Cygnus, and we are now flying a pressurized cargo module on our demonstration mission. We were not initially tasked with doing that by NASA, nor was it in our budget to fly a pressurized cargo module. We were going to fly an unpressurized one, but when the CRS contract was awarded, all of our missions are pressurized cargo modules, so we decided to take a leap and move ahead with developing on an accelerated schedule, the PCM itself, and demonstrating the full berthing, hatch opening, and cargo transfer capability on that demo mission. Of course, we'll be carrying the standard cargo that NASA asks us to in a wide variety of sizes and shapes, and I think most of you are familiar with that. We also have the capability to carry mid-deck lockers, powered payloads, and cold pack payloads to support the science needs on the upmass. We are not currently, as I said yesterday, that's Carl Waltz. This is the trash over here. Those are actually honey buckets that some of you may recognize, Keteos or Yadevez. It's very important to get those off of the station. Carl had a long time between visiting vehicles for a while, so they accumulated quite a few during Expedition 4. And we had quite a few when we were there too. He relieved me when I was up there on Expedition 3. But getting that off of there is very important. We have not developed the return cargo capability yet because we haven't been tasked to by NASA. That will be coming probably in the future as we move forward with the space station support. But it is important to have that capability. Space station is almost fully assembled now. It's fully staffed. It's got 6 people up there, and it's very important that we have the capability of keeping them supplied. If you saw Mike Suffredini's charts yesterday, you can see how the demand goes up and down as they use it, and they count on these spacecraft arriving on time to keep them above that zero line, to keep